Hi students. Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you live from a beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada, and I'm so excited I almost forgot my microphone in front of me here. All right, everyone, this class is an IELTS reading class, again, for a Band 9. So it's the second reading class of today. Lots of reading practice, and today's topic is earthquake preparedness. So not only good for IELTS, but some useful life skills as well. Welcome, Milk. Hello, Balu. Hi, Salam. Welcome, Carolina. Good to see you, Kuwak. Nice to see everybody in the class. This is an all chat class on March 10th. So make sure to join the chat. And when we do the reading, join the reading. Students, this lesson, just like all of our lessons, is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there for the general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com for lots of videos, interactive courses, original practice exams, a mobile app, lots more. The website looks like this. Click this big red button, just tap it to join our premium IELTS package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and we help hundreds of students. You can read all about their success stories on our websites. We help hundreds of students every single day, so we're very proud and happy about that. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. Again, you can click that big red button there to join the premium package. Students, for our apps, you can go to your app stores and get our apps: Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help, and definitely follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AHelp, GIELTS Help. On Instagram, we put up vocabulary videos, our lesson schedules, and lots of other great news and information. Jawahar, that's very kind of you. Jawahar says, you are a very friendly teacher I've ever met. Teachers should be friendly. Learning should be fun. So Jawahar, I'm happy about your feedback. Thank you. All right. So join us. Learn from great materials. Pass your IELTS exam. Get the best online learning experience. If you have questions, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Right now, reading. Tomorrow we'll have a task 1 academic for members. We'll have speaking part 2 for everyone, and then some more classes on Saturdays. So lots and lots coming up. Now, let's do some reading together aloud. So again, more reading practice, more visualization. So this is about being prepared for an earthquake. And you never know, right? We live on planet Earth. There are earthquakes. Some people, like me, live in earthquake zones. So Victoria, Vancouver, in Western Canada. These are earthquake zones along the west coast. Japan, of course, as we know, is an earthquake zone. But even if you don't think you live in an earthquake zone, you never know. I was in Budapest a couple of years ago, and there was an earthquake in Croatia. Nobody thought there would ever be an earthquake in Croatia. It's not an earthquake zone. So you never know. So visualize as we do this reading, okay? For this reading, we are going to be, again, going to our exam book here, and it fits, right? Yeah, it all fits on there. Okay, you can see that. So earthquake preparedness, see it, be a part of it, okay? Experience it. If you've ever experienced an earthquake and this is a difficult topic for you, maybe avoid this class, okay? All right. So to do the reading, let's listen to a British person read this, and let's read with the person, just like in the last class. So if you've got a headset, let me hop over to the website here. Okay, and this is academic. General IELTS reading for section 3. You could have this. So we go to the website, aehelp.com. You go to your My Student account up at the top here. In your My Student account, you got computer-based practice exams, a full online course, and lesson videos, tons of HD lesson videos. And then you got this IELTS audio CDs here, and this is coming from our 5th exam. So it's going to be CD 5, and this is reading passage 2, earthquake preparedness. So everybody get ready to read. We're reading this together, and then we will answer the questions afterwards together and read more together. Okay, so here we go. Read aloud if possible. Okay, here we go.
Why do tortoises live so long?
Oh, that's not the one.
Earthquake preparedness. Of all natural disasters, earthquakes are likely to be the most devastating.
Okay, let me start that one more time for us, okay? So right from the beginning, let me just...
Earthquake preparedness. Of all natural disasters, earthquakes are likely to be the most devastating. Though earthquakes, most of the time, are only weak tremors which are not even strong enough to knock picture frames off walls, at their strongest, earthquakes can destroy entire cities, killing thousands and displacing millions. For regions of the world affected by earthquakes, being prepared for the big one is crucial to surviving when it eventually occurs. Earthquake preparedness takes 3 forms: education, construction, and planning. Those who grow up in earthquake zones are very familiar with so-called earthquake drills. These exercises take place multiple times each year in school, and students practice the appropriate steps to take in the event of an earthquake. The first step is to take shelter under a strong structure. In school, this is often a wooden desk. In the absence of such furniture, a door frame is recommended, as this is the strongest structural part of any room. Next, drop to the ground, cover your head and neck, and only move if there is a safer place to seek shelter within short crawling distance. Keeping your head and neck covered are of critical importance, since falling hazards are one of the biggest dangers in an earthquake. Once the shaking has stopped, people are advised to wait for any aftershocks to occur. Many deaths and injuries occur during aftershocks, smaller earthquakes which occur shortly after the initial quake, so staying sheltered is recommended for up to 10 minutes after the main event. Once sufficient time has passed, people should get to open ground, taking care to avoid falling hazards, especially glass structures such as windows. One of the biggest factors that affects the number of casualties in an earthquake event is the quality of the construction of buildings that people work and reside in. In areas with poor construction standards, these buildings provide little to no protection against earthquakes. In the major earthquake that occurred in Haiti in 2010, poor construction standards were to blame for a large proportion of the casualties. While other countries have higher standards, often these standards are not designed with earthquakes in mind. Many buildings may be built to an otherwise high safety standard, but be almost as defenseless as the Haitian buildings when facing a strong earthquake. In high-risk earthquake zones, all buildings must be constructed with an eye to earthquake preparedness. Buildings in areas such as Japan and the west coast of North America are constructed to shift a certain amount along with an earthquake. This elasticity allows the building to survive the quake. Instead of shaking and being knocked down, they are shaken and return to their original place. This type of construction greatly minimizes the risk to inhabitants in the event of a major earthquake. The final form of earthquake preparedness is planning. People in high-risk areas must have a plan for what to do in the event of an earthquake, and they must plan beforehand so they have appropriate supplies to survive in the initial days after the event. The most important resource after an earthquake is water, and it is recommended people keep enough water for a week, approximately 28 litres per person. Food will not usually be difficult to come by, but water, which relies on municipal delivery systems, which are very likely to be compromised by the quake, is precious. Other critical items such as medical supplies and personal documents should also be stored in a safe place so they can be retrieved after the event. Other measures which are useful to prepare for an earthquake are keeping a flashlight and whistle next to your bed, not hanging falling hazards such as picture frames over your bed, arranging a family contact person outside of your area, arranging a family meeting place, and identifying both hazards and refuge areas within your home, school, and workplace. In the event that you are trapped after an earthquake, do not struggle or kick up dust. Instead, try to make sounds such as blowing on a whistle or tapping on a pipe so that rescuers may locate you. If you have a mobile phone, use it to call or text for help. Earthquakes can be deadly. All the preparedness in the world will not help if a sufficiently large earthquake hits the wrong spot. What can be done, however, is to improve the chances of survival through education, appropriate construction, and diligent planning. Countless lives can be saved.
All right.
Why do tortoises live so long?
Let me just hop
Tortoises
back
are some of the longest lived creatures in nature.
to our website here, stop the audio, and then we'll do this reading together now. So you had a chance, and by the way, students, for those of you who do have access to the premium IELTS course on our website, I strongly recommend using the reading audio several times to build your fluency, your pronunciation, your intonation for practicing for your IELTS exam, okay? So again, that's at aehelp.com, and we're going to use this website now for our reading, okay? So what you want to do, everyone, is go to aehelp.com, register a free account by clicking this green button, or if you're like, yeah, this is definitely going to help my IELTS exam, I should just buy this course, it doesn't cost a lot, then click this big red button, and then boom, fill out the information and you're good to go. And then log in to your My Student account up at the top there, okay? So you click on your My Student account, and then in your My Student account, you've got this fun little button that's just above my head there. It's called Student Partner Speaking. You click on that, tick, tick, tick. Okay, so click on that and then accept the terms, and you are now in this chat interface, and I'm recognizing some names. Good to see some of you back. So we've got Anir, Ban, Franklin, Resh, Fitsum, Atafe, Isadora, False, Tina, and lots more. And I'm going to be looking for volunteers. And now this is an all chat class, so anybody can volunteer. It's not just for members. Okay. Sanju, I'm glad you like the thumbnail expression. That's great. Yeah, so we'll take some volunteers and we'll do some reading together, and then we'll answer the questions together. So False, that's an interesting name if that's your actual name. Okay, so False says, I'd love to read one more time. Did we have you read before? All right. Are you ready? Okay, so we'll read this passage together. I'll give you a little bit of feedback and maybe ask you some important questions that you should be thinking about when you are reading for the IELTS exam. There'll be some very good tips and strategies for you here coming up. So pay attention.
Hello, sir, once again.
Hi. Awesome. Your name is False?
No, it's Saeed. Actually, I don't know why my name just disappeared for some reason.
Oh, so it's giving me false. That's pretty bizarre. All right. Well, Saeed, good to have you back again for a little bit more reading, and that's how you want to improve is read, lots of reading. So let's go to the introductory paragraph here, and you can start us off by reading the title. Always read the title when you read for the IELTS. Definitely read. Don't just, like some students, they'll just skip the title. They don't think it's important. It's very important. So always read the title. Okay. So whenever you're ready, start from the very top, from earthquake preparedness.
All right. Earthquake preparedness. Of all natural disasters, earthquakes are likely to be the most devastating. The earthquakes most of the time are only weak tremors, which are not even strong enough to knock picture frames off walls. At their strongest, earthquakes can destroy entire cities, killing thousands and displacing millions. For regions of the world affected by earthquakes, being prepared for the big one is crucial to surviving when it eventually occurs. Earthquake preparedness takes three forms: education, construction, and planning.
Wonderful. Okay, very nice. Nice reading, nice fluency. In the actual IELTS exam, you have 20 minutes for each passage and all of the questions. There's 13 to 14 questions. So at your speed, when you're reading right now, Saeed, this speed, I think you will finish the passage in 5 minutes, roughly. So that means you have 15 minutes for the questions, which is a lot, right? It's more than a minute per question. So in your case, you can actually read a bit slower, like 20% slower, and
even slower.
Yeah, and really pay attention to comprehension, like understanding what you're reading. And then you might not need to spend as much time on the questions. You'll have to search less for certain answers. So you can read slower than that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
All right.
Not much slower, but make sure that you're maximizing your comprehension. Okay. I have an important question for you here, Saeed.
All right.
What is the thesis statement of this introduction? So like a good essay, this passage has a thesis. And this introduction has a thesis, I should say. What is the thesis statement of this introduction?
Earthquake preparedness, maybe.
That's the title. So what's the thesis?
Well, thesis is, I guess, being prepared for the big earthquake, isn't it?
No, it's actually one of the sentences in the introduction. So let me ask you in a different way. Where do the authors usually put the thesis statement in the introductory paragraph?
At the end?
That's right. Yes, absolutely. So let me ask you one more time. What's the thesis in this introductory paragraph?
Then it's earthquake preparedness take three forms: education, construction, and planning.
Fantastic.
Like three forms of the earthquake preparedness.
Absolutely. That's the thesis statement. Now, as a good IELTS test taker, it's really very valuable to recognize the thesis statement in the introduction. Why? Why is it a good idea to recognize, like, okay, that's the thesis?
Well, I believe that usually in thesis, the main content of the text is put, maybe.
Absolutely, 100% right. So basically the author's telling you, this is what I will be writing about in this essay, right? So this is a nice direct thesis. So the author doesn't say, I will be telling you about how to prepare for an earthquake. The author directly tells you, this is the content of this essay. Now, you actually get even a bit more information from the thesis that's very valuable. You learn the structure of the information. So you can make the assumption or the inference by this thesis that the body paragraph that's coming next will be what? What do you think the next body paragraph is going to be about after this introduction?
I guess it will describe that three forms of preparedness.
So the next body paragraph logically will be about
forms of preparedness to an earthquake.
Which one would be the first? Which one?
Education.
That's right. So you can expect as the reader that, okay, the next body paragraph will be about education. What will the body paragraph after that be about?
Construction.
And what do you think will come after that?
Planning.
Exactly. So this sentence gives you a lot of valuable information to understand the passage and to look for answers if you need to. So you know that if you have a question in the true, false, not given or multiple choice that's about construction, then you're probably looking somewhere in the middle of this essay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So thesis statements are extremely valuable. They're very, very valuable to recognize. Thank you so much, Saeed, for helping me explain that to everybody, okay?
No problem, sir. Appreciate it.
Keep it up. Good job. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay, so that was Saeed, everyone. Give Saeed a thumbs up for kicking off this reading passage with a good start. And again, remember this very important tip, everyone. Thesis statements are valuable in your writing. They're really important. And in your reading, they're important to recognize. Okay, so if you catch a clear thesis statement like this in your reading passage, you can be like, Adrian told me about this thesis statement bit here. Okay, let's take another volunteer for the next. So now we're going to just read through the rest of this, paying attention to these elements: education, right, construction, and planning. Okay. All right. So we've got. Let's see, who do we have here? Let's try Isadora. Isadora says, "I'm ready to read, Master." All right. Are you ready though? Are you ready, Isadora? Are you ready? Okay. Hopefully Isadora is still with us. Then Isadora can take on the next paragraph. And with an exclamation mark. I love it. Okay. Hopefully we can connect.
Hi.
Hi, Isadora. How are you?
I'm nervous.
And honest. Very good. All right. Don't be nervous. It's totally fine. It's just a bit of reading. So Isadora, just read comfortably. Be yourself. Okay. Don't overthink it. We'll jump back to the book here. And then whenever you're ready, you can start reading from Those Who Grow Up. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Those who grow up in earthquake zones are very familiar with so-called earthquake drills. This exercise takes place multiple times each year in schools, and students practice the appropriate steps to take the events of an earthquake. The first step is to take shelter under a strong structure. In school, there is often a wooden desk. In the absence of such furniture, a door frame is recommended, as this is the strongest structural part of any room. Next, drop to the ground, cover your head and neck, and only move if there's a safe place to seek shelter within short crowding distance. Keeping your head and neck covered are of critical importance, since falling hazards are one of the biggest damages in an earthquake. Once the shaking has stopped, people are advised to wait for any aftershocks to occur. Many of deaths and injuries occur during aftershocks. Smaller earthquakes which occurs shortly after the initial quake. So staying sheltered is recommended for up to 10 minutes after the main event. Once sufficient time has passed, people should get to open ground, taking care to avoiding falling hazard, especially glass structures such as windows.
Okay, nicely done. All right, good. That was good. You don't need to be nervous. You're doing fine. So you want to definitely work a bit on your reading fluency, which is okay. I highly recommend doing like 20 minutes of reading aloud. A lot of students or a lot of candidates can read faster when they're reading quietly, right? And I bet you read faster when you read quietly as well. However, reading accurately and clearly aloud can really help to improve your comprehension of text. So do you practice reading aloud at least a few times each week in English?
Never before.
Okay, it's a good time to start. It's a good time to start. All right, and record yourself. Go back, read again. The reading that we did at the start of the class with audio reading, that's a really good way to practice. Like, get audio reading materials where you have both the reading and you have the audio. You can do it for your favorite books, and then practice it 20 minutes each day. And I promise that your reading will improve and your English will improve very fast. Okay.
Nice, thank you.
Okay, now don't go anywhere. So we also want to practice active reading. Let me ask you a couple of questions, okay? Always test your comprehension. So if an earthquake is happening, what is the first step? What should I do first? If there's an earthquake happening to me, what's the first step I should take according to this passage? Or according to this paragraph, I should say.
Seek shelter.
Seek shelter where? Where should I seek shelter?
Under a strong structure.
Under a strong structure, absolutely, you're right. See, very good. So you're comprehending what you're reading. That's fantastic. What kind of strong structure?
Could be a furniture or a door frame.
Very nice. Okay. And the big shaking stopped. I survived. What should I do now?
Waiting 10 minutes because could be another earthquake.
Yeah, that's right. They're called aftershocks. Very good. Okay, so I've waited. Okay. And no more aftershocks. What do I do now?
Then you go out.
I go outside.
Protecting the from the glasses, from the like windows.
Exactly, from falling glass. Yeah, from falling objects. Very nice. That's great active reading. You're going to see that that will be very, very helpful when you get to the questions and you need to answer those questions. You remember all of that and you'll be doing a great job with your answers. That's exactly what I was hoping for. So your reading comprehension is really, really good. Okay, that was very nice. All right. Okay, Isadora, so thank you so much for reading the first body paragraph. I hope you have a great rest of your day and stay with us for the questions, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, keep it up. Bye. All right, that was Isadora. Give Isadora a thumbs up. That was pretty good. That was pretty good for sure. Good comprehension by Isadora. Very impressed. I did not have to assist her at any point here. Okay, let's take Atefe. Atefe says, I would like to volunteer. Okay, Atefe, are you ready? And yeah, you don't compare yourself to other readers. Be yourself. The key is to practice. So Atefe, let's go to the next paragraph here. Hopefully you're still there and we can get a hold of you. I really want everybody to practice here. Okay. Atefe is ready. Hello, Atefe.
No.
Hi, there you are. I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Atefe, where are you calling from right now?
I'm calling from Iran.
From Iran. Do earthquakes happen in Iran?
Not usually, I don't think. Not in the place I'm living.
Okay, good. Well, that's a good thing, for sure.
Yeah.
So I will get you to help me with this reading passage by reading the next body paragraph, which we now know from the thesis will likely be about construction, so the buildings. So whenever you're ready, read from the top here, one of the biggest factors that affects, okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay. One of the biggest factors that affects the number of casualties in an earthquake event is the quality of the construction of buildings that people work and reside in. In areas with poor construction standards, these buildings provide little to no protection against earthquakes. In the major earthquake that occurred in Haiti in 2010, poor construction standards were to blame for a large proportion of the casualties. While other countries have higher standards, often these standards are not designed with earthquakes in mind. Many buildings may be built to an otherwise high safety standard, but be almost as defenseless as the Haitian buildings when facing a strong earthquake. In high-risk earthquake zones, all buildings must be constructed with an eye to earthquake preparedness. Buildings in areas such as Japan and the west coast of North America are constructed to shift a certain amount along with an earthquake. This elasticity allows the building to survive the quake. Instead of shaking and being knocked down, they are shaken and returned to the original place. This type of construction greatly minimizes the risk to inhabitants in the event of a major earthquake.
Nice reading, good fluency, nice smooth reading. A couple of words that that were a little bit tricky to pronounce. You just read through them. That's what you want to do. Okay, that's an important tip, and this is for everyone. When you have a word like elasticity and you get stuck on the pronunciation, don't worry about it. Just read through it. Don't let it break your fluency. Don't let it break your comprehension. Absolutely. Okay, couple of questions here. So, like many good body paragraphs, this body paragraph has a topic sentence, it has an explanation, and it has an example. What example is given by this author for construction of earthquakes or construction of buildings for earthquakes? What's the example that the author gives here for you?
One of them was the earthquake that happened in Haiti in 2010.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So gives the example of poor construction. There's another example. What's the other example that is given?
Uh, Another examples were about North America, I think, which had good structural for buildings, and the text I think said that they build safe buildings.
Yeah, so the west coast of, I think, coastal North America and Japan, right, was the
Yeah,
other one. Yeah,
yeah,
Japan. Very good.
Japan. Yeah,
Okay,
Japan.
let me ask you another question. If a building has good construction, will it always
Yeah.
be able to withstand an earthquake, according to this author?
Um, yes.
That was a trick question. The answer's a no on that one.
Oh,
So yeah, that was the trickier one. And when you're practicing reading, especially in a class with partners, challenge each other. So challenge each other with these trickier questions as well. Here we can see this interesting sentence. While other countries have higher standards, often these standards are not designed with earthquakes in mind. Many buildings may be built to an otherwise high safety standard, but be almost as defenseless as the Haitian buildings when facing a strong earthquake. So in this sentence, the author clearly tells the reader that it's not just enough to have high building standards, but they have to be built in a special way to resist earthquakes, right? So that's kind of, when you get in, you'll see when we get into the true, false, not given, and some of the multiple choice, that's where when they're testing for a band 8, band 9, they can hit you with these bit more challenging questions, right? So, but otherwise, really good reading and great comprehension. It seems like you really retained those examples, so that was very, very good. Atefe.
thank you.
I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or evening.
Thank you. I really appreciate your online classes. They really helped me. Thank
You
you.
are most welcome. Thank you for saying that. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Okay. And students, in the chat, you can give each other a thumbs up or like a perfect sign or like a double thumbs up or like a clap, which often people put the hand washing instead of the clap. But yeah, encourage each other, okay? All right. Let's take another volunteer. So we have Sinan here. Let's see how Sinan's doing. So Sinan says, I'd like to volunteer. Okay, Sinan, are you ready? Okay, there's some thumbs up. There's some claps. Very nice. Okay. All right. Those are all for you, Atefe. Those claps. All right. Sinan is ready. Hello, Sinan. Can you hear me? I heard you pick up, but I don't hear you. Some countries have restrictions, students, on chat software. That could always be an issue. Or your microphone might not be enabled. Or you might have a device mismatch. So there are certain reasons why sometimes we can't make the connection. The way to get around that is to test it with other students. So test with other students. If you can connect with other students, but you can't connect with me, there's a chance that there's some kind of a firewall blocking the connection between your location and my location. Okay, so Sinan, unfortunately I can't hear you, but don't give up. Test the system. Try with another person. No, you're not audible to me, Sinan. You're not. So you're going to have to try with someone else, okay? First. All right. Let's take someone else. I said Franklin, if you are here, you can give it another go here with the second one. So yes, Franklin, I did make you that promise. So are you ready? We'll take Franklin for a second attempt here, or a second go at the passage. I did say, Franklin, if you come back, you can do another practice, because I think Franklin got a very short paragraph the last class. Yes, Franklin got the conclusion last time. So let's give Franklin more of a challenge this time. Hello, Franklin.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Fantastic.
All right, you're
As
back.
promised, you call me back.
Yeah, I stayed true to my word. I said I would give you another chance if you come back in the next class. You came back, and here it is. You got the conclusion last time, if I remember correctly.
Thank you very much.
All right, and that
You
was
know, I'm in Indonesia right now, and right now it's quiet. Already 10:30 right now.
Yeah.
10:30 p.m. in Indonesia.
You're practicing late. That's good. That's good. Burning the midnight oil. All right, Franklin. Well, here's your chance at a bit of a longer paragraph than last time. So
Okay.
whenever you're ready, you can start from the final form of earthquake preparedness. Whenever you're ready.
The final form of earthquake preparedness is planning. People in high-risk areas must have a plan for what to do in event of an earthquake, and they must plan beforehand so they have appropriate supplies to survive in initial days after the event. The most important sources after earthquake is water, and it's recommended people keep enough water for a week, approximately 28 liters per person. Food will not usually be difficult to come by, but water, which relies on the multiple delivery systems, which are very likely to be compromised by earthquake, is precious.
Other critical items.
Other critical items such as medical supplies and personal documents should also be stored in a safe place so they can be retrieved after event. Other measures which are useful to prepare for an earthquake are keeping a flashlight and fuzzle next to your bed, not hanging falling hazards such as picture frames or over your bed, arranging a family contact person outside of your area. arranging a family meeting place, and identifying both hazards and refuge areas within your home, school, and workplace.
Nice. All right, Franklin. Good. Okay, so keep, just like what I said previously to one of the other volunteers, make sure that you practice aloud reading at least a few times a week. That will really help to improve your English, your fluency. And one important step when you're practicing this aloud reading is when you read a paragraph like this and you come across some words that are unfamiliar or difficult to pronounce, like municipal was one, for example, whistle was another. There were a few of them. There were about maybe 6 or 7. Then underline those words or circle those words and then come back to them. Learn the definition. Do you know what municipal means, Franklin? The word municipal?
I don't know. Municipal.
It's like the city. So municipality is the area within the city. So it's a political region of the city. Okay. So basically you can think about it like the city. Okay. So which relies on the city's delivery system. Okay. So you come back, you find the definition, definitely learn new words, right? You find the definition, you realize, okay, it's kind of like the city or the city government. And then you say the correct pronunciation twice aloud. And nowadays with technology, with Google, you can check the pronunciation and Google will very smartly in its robotic voice say municipal, okay? And then once you hear Google say it, then just repeat it twice, nice and loud, like municipal. Can you repeat me twice? Yeah.
Municipal.
Okay, good. And keep doing it until you get it. Municipal. Very
Municipal.
nice. Now, once you get it, read the sentence again, okay? Or at least that phrase, which relies on municipal delivery systems. Read that again.
Which relies on municipal delivery systems.
Beautiful. Okay, so you keep doing that. You go through each word that was new, that was a little bit tricky to pronounce. You reread it. You read the phrase, and then you can read the whole paragraph again, nice and smooth. Okay, we're not going to do that right now, but that's the idea. So that's how you master that smoothness, that accuracy of your reading, and it's a bit tiring at first to do this practice, but once you get the flow, it becomes faster and faster and you become better and better. So it's really worth the investment. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, cool. And Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, is definitely an earthquake zone, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's a big earthquake zone. So let me ask you, do you have some of these kind of planning or preparedness in place? Like, do you have a flashlight near your bed or a whistle, or do you have a stock of water saved up for in case such a disaster might happen?
Apparently not. I don't have any those kind of preparations.
Okay, so my next suggestion: bottle of water and a flashlight, just in case, right? You never know. God forbid. I mean, I hope that we never have to suffer such a difficult situation. But life is unpredictable. Life is long, right? So it's good to be prepared and just have a like a 4-liter bottle of water somewhere in the bedroom and a flashlight, and that could really make the situation less distressing, right?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, that's some life advice, Franklin. I'm not just here for IELTS, as you've realized. Okay. All right, Franklin, thank you so much for volunteering. I hope you have an awesome rest of your night and a good rest, okay?
Okay, thank you very much, Adrian.
Bye for now.
Bye.
All right, that was Franklin. So that was good. All right, Franklin, thank you. I will finish this passage and we'll get to some questions and answers, okay? I want to get to some questions and answers here as well. So let me read the conclusion for us, and then we'll get to the questions here. And I will take volunteers for the questions today. So here we go, and we'll do them together, so don't panic. It's all good. We'll do them together. Okay, here we go. So read with me, students. Read with me. A little bit more aloud practice. Let's do this together. Read with me. So I'm starting from in the event that, okay? So Here we go. 3, 2, 1. In the event that you are trapped after an earthquake, do not struggle or kick up dust. Instead, try to make sounds such as blowing on a whistle or tapping on a pipe so that rescuers may locate you. If you have a mobile phone, use it to call or text for help. Earthquakes can be deadly. All the preparedness in the world will not help if a sufficiently large earthquake hits the wrong spot. What can be done, however, is to improve the chances of survival. Through education, appropriate construction, and diligent planning, countless lives can be saved. All right, that's the conclusion. And notice how in the conclusion we have this take-home message that's very similar to the thesis, but it also includes this extra little bit here, which is countless lives can be saved. All right, so that's earthquakes. We need to pay attention to education, so understanding about earthquakes, construction, right? Building to meet the earthquake as much as possible head on. And then to plan, right? So, okay, let's get to the question. So here we have a yes, no, not given question. Do the following statements agree with the claims of the writer in passage 2? This is a very typical question in the IELTS. Guarantee whether you're doing the academic or the general, you will get a yes, no, not given, true, false, not given. Often you will even get 2 of these, so in 2 different passages. Okay? All right. So let's do these together. All right? I'm going to take some volunteers and I will show you how to answer these true, false, not given questions by getting the help of volunteers. So let me hop back to our chat here. And in our chat, we've got some people here. We've got Anirban. I don't know if I talked to Anirban. Maybe I did. I think Anirban I couldn't connect. Okay, let's see if we can connect with Anirban, and Anirban will help me with the first yes, no, not given question. Okay. All right. Okay, Anirban, are you ready? Okay, let's see if Anirban is here. Hopefully we can. Yes, sure. All right, let me reach out to Anirban. We can do a yes, no, not given. Hello, Anirban.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. I can hear you, Anirban. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Are you ready to help me with a yes, no, not given question?
Yeah, sure. But
right.
I haven't done this before ever.
That's completely fine. I'm here to walk you through it, to help you with it, and everybody else. So here we go. So this type of question, you basically have to figure out if the author says this information, if the author's like, okay, this is what I said, or if they disagree with it, if they're like, no, I said the opposite, or I said a different idea about this, or if we just have no idea, if we're like, well, I don't think the author told us about this, okay? So the trick here, I'll show you how to do this. So number 14 is what we're looking at here. When you're ready, can you read this question for us, number 14?
Sure. Most earthquakes are strong enough to cause some damage.
Okay, good. All right, simple statement, right? Most earthquakes are strong enough to cause some damage. So you're in the IELTS exam and you just read this, and now what you want to do to get the right answer is you want to ask yourself a couple of questions, first of all, right? The first question that you need to ask yourself is this kind of information important for this passage? So this passage is about being prepared for earthquakes. So if you're the author, if you're the writer, do you think it's important to include information about how strong an earthquake can be?
Yes, definitely. Earthquakes cause a lot of damage, and I think it should be there.
Okay, yeah. So the strength of the earthquakes should be included, right? So it's a 5.5 or a 7.2 or whatever they measure them at. All right, now, logic question for you, and this is where some grade 10, grade 11 science class might come in helpful if you remember that. All right, so quick question. Are most earthquakes strong enough to cause some damage to people's lives and homes?
No, some of them are.
Very nice answer. So you said no, they're not. Some of them are, but most of them aren't, right? So as most people know this, that we have thousands of earthquakes every day around the world, but we just don't feel most of them, right? Which is a good thing. So what do you think is the correct answer here then?
Well, I think it's yes, because they're strong enough.
No, you just said no. You said no, right? Go with your
Okay.
answer. You said no. You told me no, so stick with no. I asked you, are most earthquakes strong enough to cause? And you said no, some of them are, right? So as soon as you say no, you want to give no, right? Don't contradict yourself. A lot of students do
Okay,
that,
I
but
see.
don't contradict yourself. You said no, it's not, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so stick with no. So you took the correct steps, but just in the very end you contradicted yourself, right? Because the question is able to fool your mind. It's able to kind of trick your thinking, right? But you shouldn't let it trick your thinking. So just keep with logic. So is this information important? Yeah, it's important. We should include this in the passage. Are most earthquakes strong enough? No, some of them are. So the answer is no.
Got it. Okay.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now we can move to the next question. If we really wanted to, we could go back and search, but that takes a really long time. And I think the answer, it's actually, I can't even remember where it is. I think it's in the very beginning. Here it is. So though earthquakes most of the time are only weak tremors, which are not even strong enough to knock picture frames off the wall. So this is where the answer is. Okay. It says not even strong enough. But it's tricky to try to search for these. So it's much better to use the kind of logic that we were just using. Okay.
Okay.
Make sense? All right. Thank you so much, Anirban, for helping me prove that first point. And now we'll take some other volunteers to help me with the other yes, no, not givens. Okay. Anirban, keep practicing that. So keep doing that, okay?
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye. All right, that was Anirban. So let's take another volunteer for the next one here. Okay, all right. Here we go. So let's take Ramesh Kumar. Let's see if Ramesh Kumar is with us. Okay, can you help with a yes, no, not given question, Ramesh Kumar? If you're still there, let's walk through this. Again, I'll help you, so don't panic. It's not like I'm going to leave you out to dry and just leave it to you. I will help you. I will help you walk you through the question. Okay. All right, Ramesh Kumar. Very good. Hello, Ramesh. I do not hear you. Could be your device, could be our connection, could be our geolocation. I'm not sure why that is. Ramesh, try with another person in the chat. See if it works with them. If it works with them, then it's our geolocation. If it doesn't work with them, then it's a device or permissions mismatch. Okay? And then come back later and try with me. Okay. All right. Oh, Cassandra. Yeah, there you are. I promised I would look for you. So Cassandra says, hi, Adrian, back from work. Please pick me. Okay. Are you ready? So Cassandra is one of our members, and she really wanted to volunteer last class, but she was at work. So Cassandra, if you're still there, let's give it a shot. Hi, Cassandra.
Hello.
How are you?
I just got back home from work.
How was work?
Tiring?
Tiring. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But was it good though? Was it still okay?
Yes,
Okay.
indeed, yes.
All right, right on. Okay, Cassandra, so help me out with this yes, no, not given question. We're going to go on to number 15 here. Okay. So whenever you're ready, just read the question.
Okay. Okay. The strongest part of a room is farthest away from windows that can shatter.
Okay, good. So let's go through these logical steps again. Okay. So what's the first question that we ask?
Is it important or not?
Okay, and in your opinion, is it important to know what the strongest part of the room is?
Yes.
Okay, good. So then it must be given, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's the next question that we ask?
Is it true or not, or is it true or not?
Yeah, and when you're practicing and actually when you're doing the exam, you want to ask the complete question. So what you want to ask is it true that the strongest part of a room is furthest away from the windows that can shatter? Okay, so you want to ask that full question because it becomes easier to give the correct answer. So just ask the full question.
Okay. Is it important that is it true that the strongest part of the room is farthest away from the windows?
What's your answer?
I think it's yes.
Okay, let me ask you a different way. And this
Okay.
is another logic that you can apply here. What is the strongest part of the room?
Oh, okay. The door, the frame of the door,
Okay, where is the frame of the door?
is
We don't know. That was a trick
yeah,
question. We don't
yeah,
know, right?
yeah,
It,
yes,
it, it could be
yes,
anywhere,
yes,
right? It can be the
yes,
door
yes,
frame can be anywhere,
yes,
right?
yes.
So, okay. So now go back to the previous question. So the strongest part of the room is furthest away from the windows that can shatter. Is it true?
Strongest part.
Keep it simple. This is what happens to a lot of candidates. You have the answer, it's in your head. You just have to apply simple logic and not overthink it. So the strongest part of the room, according to the author,
I think
yeah,
it's not.
it's not.
I think it's not. I think it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. The strongest part. So let me show you what I mean by simplification here, okay? So the strongest part of a room is furthest away from windows that can shatter. Is it important to know what the strongest part of the room is? Yes, because that protects us from an earthquake. Is it true, according to the author, that the strongest part of the room is furthest away from the windows? No, because according to the author, it's a door frame. So
Yeah.
the answer, therefore, is
No.
no. Exactly. So notice how I just used the information but kept the logic quite simple in the sense of whether or not the author agrees, disagrees, or doesn't give the answer, right? So I just
Yes.
give no. One of the reasons a lot of people make mistakes is because they overthink the answer. And Anirban did the same thing for number 14. He had the right answer. He said no, but then he overthought it and he said, yeah, earthquakes do a lot of damage. But you want to keep it simple, okay? Let's try it with number 16. So now that you have the idea, I'm going to coach you a little bit less, and I want you to apply the same series of questions that I did with number 15. So go ahead when you're ready with number 16, read it, apply the questions of importance and truth, and then provide your answer. Let's see how it works, okay? Go for it.
Okay. Your head and neck are the weakest parts of your body and must be protected. I think for me this one is important.
Ask the full question.
This statement is important because the head and the neck are one of the weakest parts of the body, as I said in the passage.
Okay, keep going.
And then after that, my answer is yes because when it's said in the passage that you should protect your head and neck while ducking taking shelter while the earthquake is ongoing.
Okay. Let's go to number 17. So I'll give you the answers, but let's just do these last ones. So let's do number 17 as well. Go ahead. Read number 17. Apply the same logic.
Aftershocks are incredibly dangerous. Mm, wait, I think I haven't read this one. On the passage. I think it's. Oh wait. Mm, I think it's. Oh wait. I think it's important because. Oh wait. Mm,
And that's about all the time you have for a
yeah,
question.
yeah.
That's about all the
Yes.
time you have for a question because on average, you don't have more than about 45 seconds per question. So now you have to answer. So just give me the answer.
I think it's. Wait.
You have to
think
answer. Don't leave
I
blanks in
think.
the eyes.
Okay. I think it's not given, but I.
Okay.
Wait.
All right.
It's not.
Okay, stop there. All right. Okay, so
Okay.
right now, don't be surprised, don't be shocked, Cassandra. You got 0 out of 2. Okay, so
Oh my God.
you lost both those marks. The reason why is
Okay.
because you didn't stick to strategy. Okay, so
Okay.
you deviated from strategy, and unfortunately, that's what happens. So when we stop using strategy and we start just relying on intuition or instinct, and then this is a lot of times when I see like candidates will start to search the text all crazy. They'll start flipping through the pages and then they get even more confused a lot of times, and then they start wasting a lot of time, and then they can't finish the other questions, and so that's what happens. So the solution here is stick to strategy. It's like a professional athlete. They stick
Okay.
to strategy from start to finish. As soon as they lose their strategy, like in boxing or cycling competition or football, as soon as they lose strategy, they start to lose. Okay, same thing happens during an exam. So let me go back here and show you how I would have done these last two. Okay, so
Okay.
your head and neck are the weakest parts of your body and must be protected. Is it important to know that my head and my neck are the weakest parts of my body for this passage? No, because the head, first of all, it's not even logical. The head is not a weak part of the body. The head is very strong. It's a skull.
Okay.
It's made of
Yeah.
stone, right? So it's not important for this passage to know what the weakest parts of the body are. The author does talk about it, but it's not. The author doesn't describe your legs are stronger. Don't worry about your legs. Your arms are strong, but worry about your neck. So it doesn't say that. So this one is actually not given. Okay. Because the author doesn't need to tell me what are the strong and weak parts of my body. Okay, so it's kind of a tricky one. This one was a difficult one, so I get it. Maybe some students might have answered yes. This last one, however, you started to get a bit confused. So you said, I think I haven't read this one. And then you started to go back to strategy. And I was kind of like in my head, Cass, I was like, yes, okay, you're going back to strategy. You're going back to strategy.
Oh my God.
And you started to go, I think it's important.
I messed up.
And that was really good because you started to think like, I think it's important to know about aftershocks. Absolutely it is, right? So we're talking about
Yes.
earthquake preparedness, and to talk about aftershocks was definitely important because they're the most dangerous parts of earthquakes often, right? So definitely given. The answer here is yes, so it's given. Okay.
Oh my God.
And then I can simply ask, are aftershocks dangerous? Are they dangerous,
Yes.
Cass?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
So the correct answer is yes. So
Oh.
even if you didn't get number 16 was probably the trickiest question out of the 4. You definitely need to get 17 correct without searching the text, okay? Because it's,
Yeah.
again, aftershocks are incredibly dangerous. Is this important information for earthquake preparedness? Very much so. Is it true? Yes, definitely. Okay, all right. So, Cass, what is the most important learning point here?
Stick to the strategy.
Exactly. Okay. And on that note,
God, my God.
I'm
Oh
going
my
to end the
God.
lesson. I'm going to end the lesson on that
I
note.
was
So stick to
okay.
strategy. You
Yeah.
might, and when you stick to strategy, you might not get every question correct, but you'll definitely get more correct than if you don't stick to strategy. Okay.
Yes.
So, all right, Cass, thank you so much for proving that point.
Oh my.
Believe me when I say this, Cass, you're not alone. Okay, so many students do this. They know the strategy, they use the strategy, they get to the exam, and they take the strategy and they throw it out the door. They panic. So you definitely don't want to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Cass. I hope you have a good night, and I hope you get some good rest after a tough day of work. And I'm sort of throw some more tough
Yes.
challenges
Yes.
at you later on.
I'll make up next time. Don't worry.
Okay,
I'll make
awesome.
up next time.
Thank you,
Bye.
Cass. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was Cass. Give Cass a thumbs up. I really pushed her there. I was challenging her, but she took it with a smile, and that was great. And that's what a lot of people have difficulty with. So students. True, false, not given, yes, no, not given. It's a logical series of questions. First, you figure out whether it's given or not. Then you figure out whether it's true or not. You have to ask the full question. You have to stick to strategy. That's the only way to maximize your score on those questions, okay? I have had lots of students who have done this. They've practiced this. They used it, and they said, yeah, Adrian, totally worked. My true, false, not given scores went up way higher. So it definitely works. It's proven. Okay, you just have to practice it. That's it, everyone, for today's class. Tomorrow, task 1, writing, academic for members, and then we'll have speaking part 2, the cue card with strategies. Students, again, if you like these lessons and if you want to get lots more help for your IELTS exam, sign up for our premium package at aehelp.com. It's a one-time payment. It's a lifetime access. Click on that big red button. It's worth it. I hope to see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for the volunteers. You're all so brave. Thank you for our members. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day, everyone. If it's late, get some rest. Get a good sleep. I'm Adrian, signing out from Victoria, Canada for now. Bye, everyone.